Welcome to Riverside Park, Yankton, on the banks of the mighty Missouri River for the 2021 Hyundai World Archery Championships. We are just 500 miles south of the Canadian border here for the 51st edition of these championships on Recurve Sunday. Just a few weeks since the delayed Olympic Games concluded, and it's already time for these athletes to go up against each other as we look for a new world champion. The weather, well, it's a lovely 30 degrees here, but as you can see, the wind has started to pick up here. The wind has played a massive part in this competition, particularly through qualification. Abraham Lincoln looks over us as we prepare for our schedule here. 4 quarterfinals followed by the 2 semi-finals before we crown the medalists here and ultimately the world champion in the individual men's recurve competition. We're down to the Elite 8 as well, just 8 men left in the competition here in South Dakota. Here is the lineup for the quarterfinals. Some massive names in there. Former world champions in Kim Woo-jin and Brady Ellison, along with the Olympic champion Mete Gazoz, who's going to be in quarterfinal number 2. I'm Karim Bashir, and joining me for this last session of these World Championships is former world number 1, Nikki Hunt. Nikki, Mete Gazoz, what a phenomenon, taking the Olympic title. Can he do the double here?
It would be a crazy feat if he did, both in the same year. Unprecedented with the Olympics being pushed back, but we've got 2 amazing Koreans. We've got Brady Ellison as well. This is going to be a tough final 8.
Time for quarterfinal number 1 here in the recurve men's individual, and a 2-time world champion in the lineup. Let's go down for the athlete introductions.
Representing the Republic of Korea, it is Kim Woo-jin. Shooting on target, number 2, representing RAF, it is Bazarzhapov.
Well, a fantastic lineup for our first quarterfinal here on the banks of the Missouri River in South Dakota, just a couple of 100 miles east of Mount Rushmore and the national statue of the 4 presidents. We have a replica here at the end of the range that we'll see a lot of. But this is the man we all have our eyes on in this first quarterfinal. Kim Woo-jin of Korea took the world title in Turin in 2011 and took the world title again in 2015. He's looking for a 3-peat here in the USA. He goes up against Garcia Bazarzhapov of the Russian Archery Federation. It will be Kim to get us underway. Well, it's not unusual for the Korean sighter to be in the 10 ring. You can expect it to get better from here.
Doesn't get better than 10, but can it be 3 10s?
29, fantastic start, and he's already out of reach of Bazarzhapov. So into the 8. The grouping is pretty good though from the Russian athlete.
It is, yeah, just low, right, just move his sight, so just got to get those in the right place, as his coach is saying. 1 set down, but start again on the next 3 arrows.
Take a look back over this. The first arrow from Kim Woo-jin, just in low 10, around about 6 o'clock. Just to get the second one in there, and then the third just dropping a bit lower. So Nikki, the wind, I mean, it has picked up a little bit. We've got that mic. We haven't quite identified which one it is that's picking up the wind, but folks at home will be able to hear that wind blowing.
Yeah, the thing about this field, the wind is it's the inconsistency of it. So, you know, if you've got a constant wind that's there all the way through the session, no problem. Especially recurve, just move your sight, deal with it. But it really varies here, so they've got to be on top of, you know, whether they need to aim off or not, and when to do it.
Challenging range for sure. We're in a very flat part of the country. The river running through the flattest part of South Dakota. Nebraska over the other side. State over the other side. With the trees, we get little eddies as well. Start of the second set here. Bazarzhapov shooting first, 2-0 down into the 9.
Looks like it might be, and we'll have to wait for the measure on that one, but it is a bit of a headwind coming in, so that can affect the arrows. It may be why Bazarzhapov's going a little bit low initially.
See, we'll get a bit of correction here from Kim Woo-jin. Provisionally all square, but this is a really important one because Kim's first arrow could get marked up to a 9 into the 10. Can't ask for more than that. A 28 is best score so far. So currently 27 for Kim Woo-jin. Nikki, your thoughts?
I think that arrow might be in. Obviously, we're going to have to wait for the official confirmation, but if it is, then they're going to split the points on this set. I think his third arrow actually hit the other one, didn't it? It looked ever so close.
He's looking very relaxed, Kim Woo-jin. And get a look at that arrow. It's the one on the left. Now, if it's touching the line, he'll get marked up a 9. Camera's trying to get close up and stay still. Very tricky, especially in these conditions.
The cameraman's struggling to hold the camera still for the wind.
Yes, exactly. You imagine how the archers are going through. Bazarzhapov provisionally on the board. He is going to shoot first. So that means he is still trailing. We haven't had a confirmation of the score yet. There we go, that was marked up to a 9, so a 28 apiece for Kim and Bazarzhapov. So they share the points in the second set. And the Russian finds himself at 3-1 down.
And that one looks like it's out. Great grouping, but just got to move those over.
It's not going to be enough against Kim Woo-jin. 29 from him. He's back in the centre of the target, and he's back with a big lead. He goes 5-1 up after 3. Now just has to match this man here in the next set to share the points and go through to the semi-finals. It's always very tricky to predict things, but Kim Woo-jin was clearly the favourite coming into this, and he's proven so far.
Yeah, I mean, his track record is just phenomenal, isn't it? So to even be in the Korean team is just quite a feat on its own. So yeah, he was definitely the favourite coming into this. He's on form. Bazarzhapov's actually world ranked 4th. He's ranked higher than Kim Woo-jin, but that's probably down to the Koreans not travelling this year.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point, isn't it? Tricky times for everyone over the globe, in and out of sport. The Korean archery team had a special story that they basically couldn't travel to any of the international circuit events, not because they couldn't get there, but because when they went back, they would be locked into quarantine for 14 days, and they didn't want to take that out of their training for the Olympic Games. Kim Woo-jin 5-1 up in this quarterfinals. Bazarzhapov will shoot first in set number 4.
Maybe a slightly longer hold, but look pretty still at full draw. Bazarzhapov just circling it, isn't he? Can't quite get that sight right.
Nikki, just to give people at home an idea, how much of an adjustment is Kim Woo-jin making to move that low 8 to the centre of the target?
I mean, he's probably putting a turn on the sight, so it's, you know, just a fraction of a thread, you know, but it's not a lot. I mean, a couple of degrees and you miss the target, so.
27 apiece in that 4th, and that does mean that Kim Woo-jin, who's made the tiniest adjustments to move from an 8 to a 10, finishes this quarterfinal as expected with the win and goes through to the semi-finals here at the 2021 Hyundai World Archery Championships. Yeah, fine changes at the shooting end, because as you say, what, 2 full turns of the sight pin, and you're going to miss the target completely.
No, I mean, I think it's around 2-3 degrees, isn't it, from the archer to the target. If you move by that amount, then it would miss the target. So it's quite fine margins when you think of the angle up to 70 metres, but the sights these guys are using are microscopic in movement, so there's like 20 clicks to a turn. So tiny little movements they're making.
Kim Woo-jin, perhaps not overly convincing, knows that 8 was a mistake. He executed the shot well, just got the aim wrong, corrected it, just with the slightest of movements, and that you see the difference it makes with where the shots go. And we're talking from the arrow in the 10 to the arrow in the 8, what, being 7-8 centimetres, something like that? Not much at all.
Yeah, the 10 itself is 12 centimetres, so the entire face is 122 centimetres wide. So if you can remember a CD or a DVD, that's the size of the gold. So yeah, not much of a margin then into the 8.
Sadly, both you and I can remember CDs and DVDs. We need to come up with something that the youngsters are going to understand, I don't know. A couple of avocados.
Do they eat avocados, youngsters?
Mine do. Quarterfinal number 2 now. Miguel Alvarino Garcia of Spain up against the Olympic champion Mete Gazoz from Turkey.
On target number 1, representing Spain, Miguel Alvarino Garcia. On target number 2, representing Turkey, Turkey. It is the Golden Boy of Tokyo, Mete Gazoz.
What a performance Mete Gazoz put on for everybody, including himself, in Tokyo to take the Olympic title. He was definitely in the running, but the style that he did it with was incredible. Now, Nikki, one question. Can lightning strike twice? Can he get to that peak again?
It's be an incredible feat if he does. I mean, he's on form, isn't he? So he's got himself here, world rank #2. Probably the favourite here.
No pressure on Garcia then. Who's going to make it through to the semi-final? Miguel Alvarino Garcia of Spain will get this quarterfinal underway.
Yeah, that breeze again. I wonder whether that was enough to move his arrow over a little bit.
Both high there from the Spaniard. Well, holding on because of the wind, I suspect, and comes away with a 28. So even though he shot an 8 with his first arrow, the Olympic champion takes the first 2 set points. I see his arrows all a little high, Nikki.
Yeah, they weren't bad grouping, just a bit high, so maybe the kind of adrenaline here is made him a bit more forceful through that front arm or something and just push him a little bit high. Just needs to get that group down and into the 10. See a bit of a difference in these stance between these two archers. Matej Gazoz, much more close stance.
World Archery Championships back in 2013.
Well, it's slightly not open.
And he was the champion of the 2015 Archery World Cup Final, an event that's going to take place here in Yankton in a few days.
So Gazoz shot an 8 with his first arrow, but in the 10s after that is 2-0 up. So Miguel Alvarino Garcia of Spain will shoot first in this second set. Place in the World Championship semi-final up for grabs. If anything, the wind has just calmed down a little bit. There's just a gentle breeze now. Again, another longer hold though from Gazoz.
Yeah, he really does seem to be holding for a while, doesn't he? Be careful, want to keep moving. See that clicker, that arrow under the clicker. Keep moving through the arrow until it drops. Going from all high to below centre now. Can only laugh.
Well, 9s are enough at the moment for Gazoz. So 26 is followed by 25 for Garcia. Just heard the wind picking up there, but it's a 10 for another 28 and a 4-set point to 0 lead. It looks like he could do this in 6 arrows here.
You need 9. You need another 3. 6 sets points. Looking strong though, isn't he? Doesn't seem phased at the back of the Olympics. It's been a hard thing, I think, to come out of that games and straight back into World Champs only a few weeks later. It's been such a high. You've got to have a low after that, surely, but then straight into this tournament.
Certainly a tough challenge, but I'll tell you what, Garcia has in his corner one of the greatest coaches on the circuit, especially with young archers. Had the pleasure of watching him give a conference, a masterclass on coaching. He was talking about the relationship and how it's so important to develop and allow a relationship between a coach and an archer evolve through the ages. Really interesting insight into how a coach manages that. It's just what Garcia needs now, a man with bags of experience in his corner. Another long one. Getting the 10s. Both on for perfect scores here. A 10 will be a stay of execution, I fear, for just simply that for Garcia. Puts it in the 9, so the opportunity opens for Gazoz to do this in 9 arrows. A 10 for a place in the semi-finals. Well, a 9 means they'll share the points, and Gazoz will have to shoot again in the 4th set. Nikki, sometimes you see two warriors going up against each other, and you can feel the intensity, you can feel the passion, you can feel the anger, you can feel everything, all the passion coming out of the archers. Here, to me, it seems like it's very relaxed, Alvarino Garcia. That's the way he likes to shoot. But it's meant that Gazoz hasn't really come out, and it's almost like he's, it's in 2nd or 3rd gear, and if he just goes up into 5th gear, this will all be done and dusted.
He certainly needs to get moving because he's holding on to these arrows for such a long time. Just going through the motions there with his coach, execute, execute, execute. Just needs to keep it moving. So yeah, he does need to step up a little gear, but blimey, he's shooting well, isn't he?
Well, Alvarino scores his highest score in that set, a 29. The thing is, he was matched by Mete Gazoz. He needs to win the sets clearly now to stay in the hunt for this world title. Time for set number 4.
That arrow under the clicker, kept it moving much better that time, straight into the 10. Gal's got a slightly unusual hand position, so there's 2 fingertips quite low down at the front of the bow. Everyone's hand shape is different, obviously, but you usually see them a bit higher up. bit of bow kondo just to touch the spider right in the middle of the target.
Into the 10, but I fear that could be Garcia's last arrow here at these World Championships. He's done well to make the Elite 8. But Gazoz finishes with another 29 and takes this quarterfinal 7 points to 1 and motors on into the semi-finals. The Olympic champion is still in the race for a double header here at the World Championships, claiming both the Olympic title and the world title in a matter of weeks. Gazoz through to the Recurve men's semi-final.
Congratulations to Gazoz on winning the match and moving on to the semi-final round. Let's hear it for Miguel, ladies and gentlemen, a great match.
Miguel Alvarino Garcia has done well to make it into the top 8, but I think Gazoz didn't really have to get into full swing to make it through to the semi-finals. Now, in some respects, Nicky, that bodes well for him, that, you know, he's got room to step up further. But sometimes athletes find it difficult to move through the gears. If they've won a match or a bout or a fight easily, they then expect to be able to win easily, and it's a little struggle to step up. But boy, he's going to have to.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He's almost hasn't been tested, but I mean, he shot well throughout that match. You know, he's going to have another tough match to come. He's going to be against Kim Woo-jin in the semi-final, so he's definitely going to have to go up again.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, time for today's trivia game here at the World Championship. Now, World Archery is 90 years old this year. How many target World Championships do you suppose have been held in those 90 years? Is it? It's kind of a shot for the top answer. Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Here's your answer. 51. Who knows what country World Archery started? Tell you later. Time to find out who will be our third semi-finalist, and please welcome the coaches and judges who reveal the play. Get that process started. Get this party time. And now, let's hear it for the athletes for the third and fourth Recurve men's individual quarterfinal.
Time now for another of the men's Recurve quarterfinals, and boy, what a big one. Defending champion out on the shooting line.
Target number 1. Representing the United States of America, this is Ellison. Shooting on target number 2. Representing the Republic of Korea, Gazoz.
Well, what a matchup this is. The reigning world champion and world number 1, 5 times Hyundai Archery World Cup Finals champion, Brady Ellison from the USA, had a disappointing Tokyo 2020. But putting that aside, he would be one of the favourites here, especially on home soil. He won in Den Bosch in 2019, here to defend his title. But even by Korean standards, his opponent, the 17-year-old Kim Ji-dyuk, is an absolute phenomenon. Time for set number 1, Ellison, to get us underway. Two-sighters, both in the 9s.
We've got that bit of wind, haven't we, blowing around, so just getting used to the conditions, the arena here.
Chance to put it out of reach. Finishes with a 28. Does force Kim to have to shoot a 10 to stay on level terms. Quick shot into a 9 for a 27. Well, first thing to say here, Nikki, is they are shooting at 100 miles an hour.
Good timing, good shot speed. Yeah, got to keep the shot moving. You know, you don't want to be stuck up there at full draw for length of time, getting buffeted by the wind. It only brings on shaking and tension in the shot. So, I mean, we know that of the Koreans anyway, don't we? We see them shooting really fast timing, good movement.
How much will the disappointing performance from Brady, by his standards, would have affected him at the Tokyo Games?
I mean, it's difficult to say. You know, he had the dream season, didn't he, of 2019, just winning everything he possibly could, and he was ready for the games to come, and then suddenly they were ripped away. But gosh, he had a dream season this year through the World Cups as well, didn't he? Gold in Ellison, gold in Paris. Can he get gold here?
That's the question on everyone's lips. He started well, 2 set points up against this teenage sensation from Korea. Kim to shoot first in set number 2.
I don't know if it's just the microphone, but the wind sounds dreadful out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was about to say that's not a fighter plane going overhead. That is literally how much the wind is blowing. It's howling through the range here in the Riverside Park. Lots of support. No massive surprise. Found the 10 finally for 28. So some pressure on. A 10 for a provisional 28, but that 10 could potentially get marked up to a 29. Provisionally a 3-1, but we have to wait for the measure here. Kim there, just getting into position really quickly, really neat, no fuss at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very simple technique, close stance, you know, feet alignment with each other, whereas Brady shoots very, very differently, much more open stance, coming around, which is the Kisik Lee technique. and into his anchor point. So, yeah, very different in the way that they draw.
A little bit of emotion there, but wrapped up very quickly. Wait for confirmation of that marked score. It was an 8 on the first arrow for Ellison. And now we hear a bit of emotion from Kim Jae-dyuk. Dropping into the 9 at the start of the third. And Ellison's arrow was indeed marked up.
How close to the middle it is as well.
Well, what looked to be a potential banana skin for Brady Ellison has opened up for a potential 9-arrow win. Didn't look entirely comfortable with that one.
Both going to the right. I just wonder if it's the wind affecting them. Maybe an overcompensation. All the group there for Kim is to the right and big left 9.
8 for the win and a place in the semi-finals. Pops it in the 9. That's more than enough, and Brady Ellison has done it. He is through in 9 arrows, and what could have been a very, very tricky matchup against a plucky 17-year-old Korean turned out to be much easier than perhaps he imagined it was going to be. Brady Ellison into the semi-finals, here to defend the world title he won in 2019. Easy, hey, Nikki?
He made it look so easy, didn't he? I think it is tricky out there. Variable conditions, but you know, even the group on the target we just saw there, everything's sort of slightly high right. Good grouping. Looking strong going into that semi-final.
We take a look back at Brady Ellison. Seems like he has bounced back from disappointment in Tokyo. Buoyed perhaps by shooting on home soil, rolling his eyes at a 9. That's the kind of standard this man sets. And look what it means. He wants the world title badly. Back-to-back titles for him would make up in some way for a lack of medals in Tokyo.
And here are the coaches and judges from our next 2 competing countries. Now, please welcome our final quarterfinalists of this afternoon. One of these 2 competitors will be headed to the semifinal round.
Time now for the quarterfinal in the Recurve men's individual between Samet Ak of Turkey and Marcos de Almeida of Brazil.
Shooting on target number 1, representing Turkey, Samet Ak. Shooting on target number 2, representing Brazil, Marcos de Almeida.
Well, time for the fourth quarterfinal. 20-year-old Samet Ak from Turkey is the world number 68. He's got some team medals on the World Cup circuit. This is by far the biggest performance of his life. Going up against this man here, the 23-year-old Marcus Diamelde, the world number 20. Got a silver medal at the Pan American Championships in Monterrey earlier this year, following up a silver at the Pan Am Games in 2019. And it will be the Brazilian to get this quarterfinal underway.
See him pulling his arm over as he shot that. He knew it was going to go to the left. Stronger looking shot down the middle.
Solid start from the Brazilian for a 29. So provisional 2-point lead for the Brazilian, but we have to wait to see whether the second arrow from Ak is going to get marked a 9 or a 10. Your thoughts, Nikki?
It is really close. I think he might get it. He was really unlucky in that third one. We heard it clatter into his second arrow there, so if it hadn't been there, that I'm sure would have been a 10 as well.
Well, he looks pretty comfortable. Samet Ak. Coach obviously has a scope to look down the range. We'll get a look at that. We can see the one definitely clear space between that and the 9-10 line. Nikki, that's a pretty good look. What do you think?
I think that's in.
Well, it's been called out, and 28 for Samet Ak. I think he's a bit surprised by that, as well as us. But it does mean Diamelde leads by 2 set points to 0 as we go into the second set. And it will be Samet Ak who will have to just put that to one side. And he will shoot first in set number 2.
Just looking strong, solid shot. Reinforced him with the nod. Looks in control.
Diamelde. Grouping not too bad, just a bit high and left.
Yeah, just made an adjustment to his sight there.
Look at the response. Confidence of winning the first set has pushed Diamelde into a 4-0 lead here, and he's got the chance to do this one in 9. Nikki, look, it's fair to say this is perhaps it's not the quarterfinal that we would have predicted at the beginning of the tournament, but these two have made it here by merit, of course, and one of them is going to go on to the semi-finals. So really, it's about taking advantage of of perhaps a good draw, or you know, having a chance to make it through to get a medal at the World Championships for these two.
Yeah, they've done really well to be here. I mean, Marcus obviously on form at this tournament, seeded second in a really windy qualification with 670, and then came through the rounds pretty easily. But I mean, Ak beat Ojin Heck in the 1/8 with 6-4, which is pretty impressive. You know, that shows what he can do in these head-to-heads. So it's not all over yet. Anything can happen. Certainly when people get to 4-0, sometimes things switch quite quickly.
Yeah, good to point out the contrast there, because Ak came through the ranking round ranked 42 and had to come through every single one of the qualifiers. He knocked out Pablo Acha as well on his way to that quarterfinal. Steve Vire was an impressive scalp for Marcus de Almeida to make it through to the quarterfinals. He's 4-0 up. Samet Ak will start set number 3.
Quite a long hold, but solid into the 10. Bit of movement, bit of shaking. He's got to get through that clicker.
A bad result after that, really. Well, Samet Ak could put this out of reach and put himself on the scoreboard here with a 10. Oh my goodness me. Lots of Bo Quando there. Didn't realise it was going to be quite that far out. A 26 means a 9 now is what de Almeida needs. And a 9 is what he gets. A 27 is enough in set number 3 for the Brazilian Marcus de Almeida to take this in 9 arrows. What a performance from the Brazilian. But what a drop from Samet Ak with his last arrow. That won't matter. Marcus de Almeida through to the World Championship semi-final here in Yankton. Nikki, what happened to that last shot?
I think the nerve just got to him. I think he knew he needed to put that arrow in to have that chance of getting on the scoreboard, and just too much, the pressure. We could see him holding a bit too long, shaking a bit, and yeah, 7 was the result. Good shooting from Marcus, so 29-30, slipped a little bit with the 27 in the third set, but needs to come back strong like those first 2 in the semi-final.
Well, we'll see Marcus de Almeida again on the range here in South Dakota on the banks of the Missouri River. Conditions have been pretty good here. We take a look back on that match. The surprise package of quarterfinals between Samet Ak and Marcus de Almeida. We knew at the beginning one of them was going to have a cracking day and make it through to the semi-finals, giving them 2 chances of a World Championship medal here in 2021. And in the end, it was Marcus de Almeida who was the stronger performer, doing it in 9 arrows, and he is through to the World Championship semi-finals. Those semi-finals will be coming up very soon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, time for more archery trivia. The question is, where was the first target world championship held? Was it A, Great Britain? Let's hear it for those of you who think it was Great Britain. Who thinks it was Scandinavia, Sweden? Who thinks it was Sweden? Who thinks it was Poland? The correct answer is Poland. 90 years ago. World Archery would like to thank the official sponsors, the Dakota World Archery Championship 2021. Dakota, official sponsor of World Archery. Sport Toto, the Turkish Sport Toto, has one goal: let the sport grow. Ellison is committed to helping athletes reach their highest potential. Come out and play with Ellison and Active Tanks. Longines will award awards to each individual world champion. With Longines, elegance is an attitude. Turkish Airlines, the official airline of World Archery, as well as Vivis, PSE, Point, and Easton. shoot for the gold medal in the championship of the world later today. Shooting. Next will be these athletes. Please welcome to the field flag.
Time now for the semi-finals here at the Recurve Men's Individual 2021 Hyundai World Archery Championships here in Yankton, South Dakota in the USA. And what a massive lineup we've got for the first semi-final. Let's go down to the field of play for the athlete introductions.
For the semifinals, once again, Korea. And his opponent on target number 2, representing Garcia.
Well, a huge lineup. Kim Woo-jin, already a two-time world champion, up against the recently crowned Olympic champion, Mete Gazoz from Turkey, who will be saying thank you at the end of this. Who is going to be going on for gold? An intriguing battle here. Clearly the toughest of the two semi-finals. Kim Woo-jin and Mete Gazoz would both be fancied for the world title here. Who looked on paper, they face each other in the semi-finals. One of them is going to have to pick themselves up, having lost this match, to face off the loser of the other semi-final for the bronze medal. So the job here is to get off to a good start. Kim Woo-jin will get the semi-final underway.
And that is the way to do it, straight in the X. Touching each other in the X, just absolutely incredible start from Kim Woo-jin. That one just low. I don't know if that'll be started for a measure, but looked fairly close.
What a start. Perfect 30 from Kim Woo-jin, and that the first two set points. The start critical in all archery matches, but when it's up between two massive superstars, it's even more important. And a 27 for Gazoz. I think you said it a little bit earlier on. He's sort of dancing around the 10 ring there. Didn't really get a solid feel for how Gazoz is shooting.
No, he needs to really, up this very, very quick, like you say. I think it was Brady Ellison who said at the first World Cup this year, he qualified first and went out the first round, and he said, these head-to-heads are a sprint, and they really are. It can be over in just 9 arrows if you 6-0 your opponent, so Mete's really got to pick himself up here and get right back in it.
We'll take a look back over that first set. The first 2 arrows absolutely plumb for Kim Woo-jin. Keeping it in the 10 ring. I wonder if that clipped the top of one of the other arrows and just diverted it down a little bit. The grouping looking very good. Gazoz staying relaxed though. The Turkish archer having come back from Tokyo. He was knocked out in the Rio early rounds at the Olympic Games, and he had a mantra: until it's done. Until it's done. Now it is done. I wonder what the mindset is now. For a young man, he's got plenty of experience on the finals range. How is he coping being 2-0 down against Kim Woo-jin?
I think that's exactly the mindset he needs. Until it's done, stay in this, not over till it's over. Every arrow counts. Longer hold from him now. Got to get through that clicker, get moving. Wow, straight in the X.
Well, we saw that in the quarterfinals, holding on a little bit longer because the wind has just picked up, and that's what he had in the quarterfinals.
It's whether that's his game plan or whether the wind is slowing his process down and he's struggling to execute.
Yeah, I understand that it's what came first, the chicken or the egg. But he could put this out of reach with a 9 now and put himself right back on level terms. 9. What are you talking about? Oh, put down a perfect 30. There you go, Kim Woo-jin. I'm back on level terms. And you know what? It's a role reversal. I mean, this is a massive clash. Clash of the Titans is a throwaway comment, but it really is two super athletes going up against each other, and we've seen a complete role reversal between the two sets.
Yeah, absolutely. That can just happen. You know, Kim Woo-jin just slightly off the ball there. There's a bit of wind rolling around, so whether that's a factor for him as well. You know, they're shooting over 70 metres. These arrows do get moved around a little bit by the conditions. Arrows being marked on the target. If there were to be a bouncer, there would be a hole without a mark, so we'd know where it went, basically.
Well, having lined the 10 with the first set of 3 arrows from Gazoz, he's banged 3 into the middle. That's absolutely the opposite for Kim Woo-jin. He put 3 in the middle in the first set and then peppered around the 10 in the second. That means we're all tied up at 2 apiece, and we go into set number 3. Semi-final here, a place in the gold medal match up for grabs. Kim Woo-jin will kick things off.
Not happy with it. Little angle on the arrow. I think they're probably getting caught a little bit with the wind. Better timing. Straight back in that X.
Opportunity has presented itself here to Kim Woo-jin at 10, or putting 4-2 up. Just what the doctor ordered, a 29 from him, sees him going 4-2 up in this thrilling contest. Semi-final matchup between 2 of the superpowers of the men's field. Gazoz finishes with a 28, not bad at all, but he finds himself 2 behind, and potentially Kim Woo-jin could do this in the next set. Not if that man there, Gazoz, has anything to do with it.
Talking to his coach, who's been so instrumental in his career. So many archers coming through that centre in Antalya.
Talk about that first arrow getting caught by the wind, and there's the reaction from Kim Woo-jin.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't happy with it, so whether there was an error on the shot or whether it was an aiming error because of the wind, one of the two, but a 9 he knows is just not good enough. He's got to get them in the 10 here to defeat the reigning Olympic champion.
Time for set number 4. Turkey's Mete Gazoz will shoot first. The job now, trailing by 2 points, is to put pressure down on Kim Woo-jin. with some big scores.
Calm and relaxed. But he's so experienced. Taekwondo dropping low.
Door open now for Kim Woo-jin. Had his destiny in his own hands. Now another opportunity for Mete Gazoz to put some pressure on. He'll be looking for that 10 ring again. Catty finishes with a 29. Can only be matched by Kim Woo-jin, but Kim Woo-jin will definitely be keen to get the single set point. Oh, very close, but that will get marked as a 10. And Kim Woo-jin is pushed into a 5th set, but leads by 5 set points to 3.
Do you know what I want this to build up to? Can you guess?
7-3 win for Kim Woo-jin. I know what you want, and you know what? I don't want to tempt fate here. The dynamic has changed a little bit, hasn't it? Because whilst Gazoz is going to shoot first again, he's now looking for a mistake from Kim Woo-jin. There's even more pressure on him to shoot high scores to force a mistake. Kim Woo-jin looking very solid though.
He is, yeah. He looks settled into the groove. Mete probably making more of the mistakes at the moment, so there's nothing he can do but just stick to the process. He's got to find as many 10s as he can, put as much pressure on Kim Woo-jin as possible, and he's got to win this set outright to force the tie.
Yeah, and that's what all the neutrals will want, including us. Two massive superpowers going up against each other, and we want to see as much of them as possible. So, Mete Gazoz from Turkey has taken the Olympic title. We know he's capable of turning this one around. He shoots first in the 5th set, but will be seen as an opportunity for Kim Woo-jin.
Slightly longer timing possibly, and into the 9 as well. That arrow under the clicker, better timing, straight in the 10.
Kim Woo-jin doing what he needs to and just matching Mete Gazoz. He can afford to have tied scores in this set and still go through to the gold medal match. Beautiful finishing shot from Mete Gazoz. He's done it as much as he can, finishing with a 10 and forcing Kim Woo-jin to hit the 10 to make it through. Oh, and he's done it. Kim Woo-jin was forced into a 5-setter here, but he has made it through, winning 6-4 against the Olympic champion. And Kim Woo-jin is still in the hunt for his 3rd world title. Mete Gazoz will have to dust himself off to compete for the bronze medal here in Yankton, South Dakota. Confirmation there of the win. 6-4 for Kim Woo-jin, who will rock on to the gold medal match. Has a little bit of time to rest, perhaps do a little bit of stretching and take on some fluid. But Kim Woo-jin has done it. Mete Gazoz will be out a little bit sooner for the bronze medal match, but that will come after the next semi-final. Take a look back on this one, Nikki. Not really much in it, as we suspected.
No, there wasn't. I mean, again, just slight changes perhaps in how long Mete was at full draw and holding on. We knew there was some wind in the stadium, but I mean, really good shooting from him. He started with 28, but 30, 28, 29, 29, and just not enough to beat Kim Woo-jin. Amazing shooting from him.
Time now for the Recurve men's semi-final matchup between Brady Ellison of the USA and Marcos D'Almeida of Brazil.
Shooting on target number 1, representing the United States of America, Brady Ellison. Shooting on target number 2, representing Brazil, Marcos D'Almeida.
Well, no pressure really on the 23-year-old world number 20 from Brazil. The red-hot favourite for this will be world number 1, Brady Ellison. But that comes with some weight of expectation, especially on home soil. Marcos D'Almeida, to some extent, has absolutely nothing to lose here. It will be the Brazilian to get this semi-final underway, a place in the gold medal match up for grabs. And Nikki, how important is that start from the pair of them?
It's going to give you a lot of confidence. Start off with that 10, but he's just found it now.
Didn't look like Ellison made any adjustments there. 28 for the Brazilian. Means Ellison can take both of the set points here. Needs a 10 to do that. Pushes it into a 9, so 28 for Ellison. He didn't. Well, he didn't make any massive changes there, but he said something to his coach. I'm not sure what it was. Was he saying that he couldn't see that the wind was going to have an effect at the end of the range?
Yeah, that's the only guess I can have at the moment. Conditions are changing a little bit, but it doesn't look too bad. Right, the other factor is just the sun, which, you know, is coming down into their eyes there, but he is checking something, isn't he? Whether that is the sun and, you know, maybe the string picture. So the recurvers use that string as their backside. They line it up against the bow, and I think he's just double checking what he can see.
I think you may be right. I think he said, I don't think I couldn't even see that.
Yeah, the problem is with recurvers, you know, look at his hat. Because of the angle of the string, you can't actually bring your hat that low over your eyes. So obviously the Koreans, a lot of the women especially, wear those kind of bucket hats, which you can really get close to your eyes, but it's such a struggle with a baseball cap.
Well, we're all square here. Ellison, well, number 1, struggling with the sun in his eyes. The Brazilian not really having the same problems, even though he's standing right next to him. But it will be Marcos D'Almeida to shoot first in the second set.
Straight in the middle. Marcus, a right-handed archer, aiming his right eye. It looks to be a bit more in shade.
view of the arc. The arrow goes through on its way to the target. Looks like Ellison may well be using the force here. Sun hasn't moved very much, but a perfect from de Almeida. Clearly nothing to lose for the Brazilian. And he's going to get at least 1 point here. Pressure on the American, and it is just 1 point, but only just 2 perfects from the pair of them. And we're at 2-2. I'm not sure we expected this, did we?
This is great shooting. Yeah, it has to be said, Marcus is the underdog here. But wow, he's stepping up to it, isn't he? And like you said, maybe the pressure's off. He hasn't got any expectations. He's not supposed to win this match, but wow, that can be a really powerful position to be in.
Confirmation of the scores there, 10-10-10. Get a look at de Almeida's arrow flying high and then dropping right into the center of the target. Time for set number 3 here in this very intriguing semi-final matchup between the world number 1 Brady Ellison from the United States and Marcus de Almeida of Brazil, who is keeping the American honest. 2 apiece. De Almeida to shoot first.
And a little bit quizzical on that one. See those flags in the background moving around again. Overcompensated maybe. Brady's in that zone now, isn't he? He knows where to aim.
Trouble ahead here for de Almeida. Quick shot, and that's gone into the 8 as well. Well, what a curious third set for him. A 25 after a 30. Perfect in the second. And this is going to go to Ellison, who puts it into the 9. Doesn't quite get the perfect himself, but does go 4-2 up. Critical change of fortune there. And Nikki, what on earth happened to de Almeida?
He looked pretty puzzled, didn't he? You know, left and right is the issue. So whether it is a wind condition, whether it is a string picture issue that we talked about, same as Brady in terms of that sun coming down and what they're able to see. So they line up the string with either the bow, or some people go onto the sight as well. So you know, that image changes as the light hits it. So that might be a factor.
We'll take a look back at Ellison's solid performance in that third set, compared with the struggle that de Almeida had, and perhaps it is that light, isn't it? Perhaps it is that Ellison was just getting it. It's sort of coming not quite directly down over them, it's coming across them from left to right, the sun, and maybe just moved out of Ellison's eye line, which caused him problems earlier on, and now has caused a problem for de Almeida. 4-2 down, the Brazilian will shoot first in set number 4.
I saw a little movement of that front arm though. He wasn't happy with it. Tried to move it across a little bit.
Quick shot from the Brazilian. Not the usual killer instinct from Brady Ellison here. He's opened this one up at 29 for Marcus de Almeida is enough for him to draw level. Oh, this is incredibly strange. I've got to say, I mean, it was strange to see de Almeida go from a 30 to a 25. Perhaps even stranger to see Brady Ellison go from 30-29 to a 26, and that 8, very strange.
Yeah, it just looked a little bit plucky. You can see his fingers on that release just a little bit different from normal, not his normal kind of nice follow-through smoothness that we normally see. So just imagine what's going on in his brain right now. He's trying probably as hard as he can not to think about just completing this now to get to the final, but he's got to keep his brain on track. And I thought he was going to upset himself in that first end about the light and going back on the line and checking what he could see. Then he got over that, but just having another blip.
Just looking just a little bit more concerned than we normally see. Normally he's got sort of, you know, winning blood pumping through his veins. He looks like he's aware. His chest is puffed up. He's ready to go. There just looks to be something slightly different. A hangover from the Tokyo Games, perhaps the situation.
Just holding his bow up again there, wasn't he? Checking the light.
Start of the 5th of this intriguing battle between de Almeida and Ellison for a place in the final of the World Championships of 2021. De Almeida trying a bit of bow quando there himself, throws it into the 8 at the start, and the door potentially opens for Ellison.
His reaction from Marcus said it all. He just knows how important that first arrow was on this set, but it's now only a point difference. All level.
It doesn't matter how you get there. They're both on 18. It's coming down to this final arrow. On the line for a 10 and a 28. So now immense amount of pressure on Ellison here. He needs a 10 to force a shoot off. He's put it in the 9. A 27 from the world #1 means that Marcus de Almeida, well, the grin says it all. He has beaten the world #1 and the man here to defend his title. Ellison was on course for making history to become the first man to ever defend the Recurve men's individual title, but a rank outsider, you have to say. You never would have put Marcus de Almeida in the final here a few days ago, but he's had the performance of his life against Brady Ellison, the world #1, and he will shoot for gold here in Yankton. Incredible performance from the Brazilian. He kept Ellison honest throughout, and even when he had a very tricky third set, he managed to pull himself back together, draw level going into the 5th, and in the end, an 8 meant nothing in his first arrow as he banged in 2 10s to beat Ellison's 3 9s. Marcus de Almeida will go on to shoot for gold here in Yankton. Nikki, what a performance.
Curious match really, wasn't it? I think the light had a lot to play a factor in that match, and I think we'll hear Brady talk about struggling to see and, you know, his string picture potentially, but just couldn't keep it together. Some great ends, some not so good ends. Marcus outwitted him in the end.
Well, Marcus de Almeida done enough to make it through to the gold medal match. Got nothing to lose here. He's beaten one superstar of Recurve men's individual in Brady Ellison. I'll have another one to face in the final. But before that, we will have a bronze medal matchup. And what a matchup it is.
time for the bronze medal match of the 2021 World Archery Championships. Please welcome coaches and judges to the field of play.
Time now to decide who's going to get the medals here in the recurve men's individual in Yankton, South Dakota at the 2021 World Archery Championships. Mete Gazoz lost out to Kim Woo-jin in the semi-finals. Brady Ellison fell to Marcus de Almeida, so they will face each other for the bronze medal. Gazoz versus Ellison. It's time to find out who will be our first man on the podium here on Recurve Sunday at these World Championships. What a matchup we have for bronze. Brady Ellison, the world #1. Will be disappointed to have lost out in the semi-finals, but he's a professional. He'll be here to claim a medal against the Olympic champion.
Shooting on target, #1, 2020 Olympic champion, Mete Gazoz of Turkey. Shooting on target, #2, 2019 World Archery Champion, from the United States of America, Brady Ellison.
This is a huge matchup. Brady Ellison struggled at the Tokyo Olympic Games, battling, having been this standout performer before the world changed and he went into a sporting hiatus, a travel hiatus around the globe. Had to wait for his chance to compete at the Olympic Games, and in the end lost out to this man here, 7-3 in the quarterfinals of the individual. Ellison here to defend his title, failed in the semi-finals against Marcus de Almeida. Can he get bronze on home soil against the Olympic champion? Ellison versus Gazoz. Both starting with a 10. Another thing that struck me right at the beginning of this, Nikki, was that how great is it that pretty much every time now we hear Gazoz being presented to a crowd, it's going to be preceded with the Olympic champion, Mete Gazoz. But then it struck me, how much is that going to hurt Ellison hearing that?
I mean, it's the only thing left that Brady needs and wants. 3 more years to Paris.
What a start from the American. Shooting with a little bit of anger by the looks of things. Gets a perfect 30. Will definitely get 1 point here. Will it be 2? Longer hold for Gazoz. It is 2. Finishes with a 9, the Olympic champion. So a 2-0 lead in this bronze medal match. What is going through these guys' minds? They would have expected to be in the final here, shooting for gold potentially against each other. Now, for some, you may say, well, Gazoz had a tougher draw against Kim Woo-jin, so perhaps he can recover from that loss a little bit more easily.
I mean, anything's tough at this stage. Marcus de Almeida is obviously on form as well, and you know, reigning world champion versus reigning Olympic champion. You'd really think this was the final, wouldn't you? But here they both are in the bronze medal match. The quality and depth just pushed them out into that bronze medal match. I mean, this could go either way. Really could.
Well, Ellison started the better here. We go into set number 2 of the bronze medal match. Who's going to be on the podium? Mete Gazoz trailing will shoot first. Ellison is having issues with his sight. The sun shining in his eyes in the semi-final. He was on target, the other target, so perhaps he'll be a little happier that He's on the other side of the shooting line. And as you said, Nicky, he's got a baseball cap, and in these conditions, that bucket cap that Gazoz is wearing is much more effective.
It can, because it's so much lower. What's interesting now with the sun is that as they're drawing their bows, there's a shadow from the bow on their faces. I think that's where the shadow is coming from. So again, that's going to make a big impact, I think, on what they're seeing in the string picture.
Well, an 8 from Gazoz means the 9 from Brady Ellison means his fate is in his own hands here in this set. He could go 4-0 up, whatever Gazoz puts down the range now. Marks for a measure, that one. A 10 note will put it way out of reach for Ellison. He hits the 9. Now that measure becomes oh so important for Gazoz. Will it be 3-1, or as the score currently stands, 4-0? A bit too close to really call it from where we are, isn't it?
It is. It did look good. My initial reaction is it might be in, but we'll have to wait for official confirmation.
$10.99 for Ellison, but we know that. Gazoz has had his 9 marked up to a 10 by the sounds of things. So he's on a 28 as well. So that 4-0 lead will be changed to 3-1 for Ellison as we take a look back. That's the wild one. You saw the bow condo.
It's all about this consistency of Mete. He's got to keep this timing of the shot going well. These longer holds, I think, is where things might start to go wrong. So, got to execute these shots.
Well, I've had confirmation 3-1. Gazoz trails, and he'll shoot first in set number 3. Another long hold, though.
Mostly to the left in that target face as well. But a longer hold might mean a slightly less good execution, which would make it go left, so that kind of makes sense.
But we've seen him been slightly successful with that longer hold, holding for the windy conditions. So it's not a definite, is it really, to know what he should do at this point in time?
Tiny, 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 just small increments, aren't they? Just out.
Chances here for Ellison now to really put his foot down. Still one ahead in the set, still on for a 5-1 lead. Edging his way into the 10 finally, Mete Gazoz. But a 10 will give Ellison a commanding lead. And it's right in the middle of the target for a 29, and a 5-1 lead it is for the American on home soil. Now the dynamic changes massively. He just needs a single point, and Gazoz will be shooting first in the next set. All he has to do is match him. Coach there talking with Gazoz, probably saying the same things as you, but just to break down what you're saying, he's been holding because of the wind. Certainly earlier on, he's been holding to try and get a period of calm or a steady breeze?
I don't think any recurve archer necessarily, unless it was horrendous and you literally can't see the target, I don't think any recurve archer would try and pause at full draw for the wind. I just don't think they would. But I think the factor here is maybe a little bit of hesitancy with the shot, which is slowing him down. Your brain's telling him, be careful, slow down, which we don't want. We want to keep going. We want to, you know, attack it. And he's just struggling, I think, to get that movement and get this execution underway.
Well, let's see if he can pick up his game here. We start set number 4. Gazoz trailing by 4 set points. Clips the line.
Faster execution there, wasn't it? Looked a smoother shot. Still left though. He's got to move that group over.
Ellison's job just to match Gazoz. That'll get him on the podium.
Slow down again. Left again.
Yeah, you're calling it spot on. It's marked as a 9 because it's bang on the line, but it's opened the door for Ellison. Finally, Ellison has found the middle of the target. So a 9 is what's required to win the bronze medal. And Ellison gets it into the 9. That's all he needed to share the points and win this bronze medal playoff against the Olympic champion. 6 points to 2. Brady Ellison is the World Championship bronze medalist. Going through the routine, shaking hands with his opponent, but I think it's fair to say the body language suggests that's not what he came here for. Gracious though. Thanks the audience here and the supporters as we get confirmation that Ellison is the 2021 World Championship Recurve men's bronze medalist. It wasn't what he came here for, but he can look back in years to come at another World Championship medal. Disappointment will fade, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think he's going to take his time to reflect on that one, and I'm sure by the end of it he'll be happy with that bronze, but slightly bittersweet for him right now. He definitely wanted the gold.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our finalists coming into this field. For the Recurve men's gold medal, final match, 2021 World Archery
Time now to find out who is going to win the last of the gold medals available here at the 2021 Hyundai World Archery Championships. It's time for the Recurve men's gold medal match.
Shooting on target, number 1. Representing Korea, this is Kim Woodin. Shooting on target, number 2. Representing Brazil, Marcus de Almeida.
Well, we have an absolute superstar on one side of the shooting line, and a newbie who's got no pressure on him and has already been a giant killer here. Kim Woo-jin here won the World Championships in 2011 and 2015, world ranked number 9. Doesn't really mean too much at the moment The Koreans weren't really competing on the circuit. Goes up against the 23-year-old Tokyo Olympian Marcus de Almeida. Silver medal at the Pan Am Champs and the Pan Am Games 2021, 2019. But it will be Kim Woo-jin to get us underway. He's got to be the red-hot favourite. Good start from him. And I say he's got to be the red-hot favourite. He certainly is on paper, but this man here, Marcus de Almeida, has already shown that he can take out the superstars, beating Brady Ellison in the semi-finals. He bangs in a 10 as well.
Marcus is definitely the dark horse here. He was a fantastic junior, 2014 Lausanne World Cup final. We came away with the silver, but he's been away for a few years, it seems. He hasn't been in these finals, and here he comes back. Is he going to make amends?
Well, you can see the effect the 9 has on him. The mere mortal will be very happy with that, but Kim Woo-jin doesn't take opportunity that presented itself, finishes with a 29. Door opens again. De Almeida to draw level, but he hits a 7 now. Did you see anything unusual about that shot, Nikki? Because it meant that Kim Woo-jin does take the 2 points.
Nothing I actually saw at the time, but I mean, a left, slightly low 7, I would think it was probably a release error. So as the string comes off the fingers, if you get that wrong with the recurve, because the string kind of does a wave, so it's a left-right wave. If you get it wrong with your fingers on the release, that often then sends it more to the left for a right-handed archer.
When you say get it wrong, what does that actually physically mean when you're releasing?
So we're looking for the cleanest possible release. So if you've got your 3 fingers on there, imagine the string down them, you want it to come off in one motion as smoothly as possible. We'd see that lovely follow through where the hand comes around the neck, but sometimes it's a bit more plucky, or they come off, you know, I mean, talking microscopically, slightly differently through the 3 fingers, and that can just cause a slightly different release, as I say.
So you've got to have your fingertips sort of lined up, or was your release aid covering your fingers effectively so it comes off the leather? Your finger tab's on the string, so that's nice smooth surface, it should come off nice. Well, it was a 7, and it means that Kim Woo-jin is 2-0 up in this gold medal match. Marcus de Almeida looked a little bit unhappy with that. He knew it was going to go left, a bit of Bo Kwon-do trying to pull it to the right, but not enough. It's a 9 for Kim, though. Interestingly, both to the left, but those flags are still, the ones behind them are still. Slightly longer hold, but flipping the line. I think the writing's on the wall here. He can do this in 6, and he is determined to do it in 6 by the looks of things. Yeah, shooting really well. 29s, it's so hard to beat. Marcus just got to stick with it now, just checking over his arrows, making sure there's no damage to those at all. There's just nothing to lose for Marcus. Keep your head in the game. There's nothing dramatically wrong in that second set, though, for de Almeida. It's just Kim's better. Yeah, 2 of them, obviously the left 9 and then the left 10, you could just see him trying to pull that bow arm across, so whether he's aiming slightly left or he can feel something in his shot where he knows that's going to result in something slightly left, he's trying to pull him across, so not exactly how he wants it. Got to go out there and commit to it. Well, de Almeida finds himself 4-0 down against a giant of recurve men's Archery. And start set number 3, needing to fight back right from the beginning, and starts with a 10. From Kim here, and a 9 will be enough from D'Almeida to get himself on the scoreboard. He bangs it into the 10 for a perfect, and D'Almeida has fought back. Will Kim Woo-jin be thinking, well, this happened to Brady, could it happen to me?
Try as hard as you can as an archer not to think about those things. You know, it's completely normal, it's completely human for that brain to wander, but just keep that practice. Every tournament you go to, every practice session, keep your mind on the job, on this arrow, on the process. Can't afford to think ahead.
There are the 3 magic arrows from this man, Marcus D'Almeida. He kept himself in the battle. I gotta say, it was a bit closer all the way through against Ellison. Here he's allowed Kim, well, so he's allowed Kim. Kim has shot so well that he's gone 4-0 up. But it is a fight back. He's certainly gritty, Marcus D'Almeida. And he's put himself back in with a shout here. Still trailing 4 points to 2. He will start set number 4, having shot a perfect in set number 3.
Slightly longer hold from Kim Woo-jin, another 9. Giving Marcus a bit of breathing space. He's got to get some 10s.
Pressure perhaps here. This would be an interesting arrow. Oh. See the perspiration on the back of Kim Woo-jin's head, but the 9 here opens the door. A 10 for a world title, and a history-making one at that. 9. To stretch this one out just a little bit more, 28 points apiece, which means they share the set points. And Kim Woo-jin has been forced into a 5-setter against Marcus D'Almeida. Nikki, I'm not sure I can cope.
Well, Marcus almost kind of threw his bow in the air in disgust, didn't he, with that final 9, knowing that that was probably it, that was probably the end of it. But he's right back in it now, so what do you do with that? Again, have you got nothing to lose, or, you know, can he pick himself back up after that? You've got to come out here, put some pressure on Kim Woo-jin, get some 10s early on.
Well, yep, totally agree with that. Kim Woo-jin trying just to visualize getting over the line here, but look, I mean, plucky, gritty, determined, many other adjectives could be used to describe Marcus D'Almeida. One thing's for sure, he never ever gives up. It's seen him through to this gold medal match. He's going to shoot first. And you know what? I don't put it past him to bang in a few 10s and put some pressure on Kim Woo-jin. It's time for set number 5. World title up for grabs. that will settle Kim Woo-jin for sure. That's all he can do, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got to keep hitting those 10s. He needs one more.
Held on a little bit long, but put it into the 10. Last arrow for De Almeida. Needs it to be a good one. Oh, did it hit his own arrow? It's gone into the 8 for a 27, which means the pressure is off. Kim Woo-jin going for his 3rd world title, needs a 7. Gets a 9 for a 29, and look what that means to him. A 7-3 victory and the 2021 Hyundai World Archery Championship title, and history being made here in Yankton. Kim Woo-jin sat with Im Dong-hyung of Korea and Richard McKenny of the USA, along with Darrell Pace of the USA, on 2 world titles. Now he stands alone. He is the first man to claim 3 recurve men individual World Archery Championship titles. Kim Woo-jin, you're not only a world champion, but you stand alone as a world champion. What a match, though, that Marcus De Almeida gave us. We haven't seen him, as you said, for a while, but he's back. He is back.
He really is, to push Kim Woo-jin to a 5-setter in the final. What a match it was, a nail-biter all the way through, but Kim Woo-jin, 3rd time world champion.
Phenomenal performance from the Korean. We take a look back. Marcus De Almeida had his say here. He really forced this one. Coming back from 4-0 down, looking like he was lost at sea, hit a perfect 30 in the 3rd set, but then Kim Woo-jin just battled his way over the line, sharing the points in the 4th, and then hitting a 29 in the 5th, when perhaps the energy levels dipped in the Brazilian. Kim Woo-jin stands alone now as the only man to take 3 World Championship titles, and I tell you what, he's not done yet. Well, that's what it means. For sure, he will know that he has just made history for Korea. Let's hear what he has to say about it.
Kim Woo-jin, congratulations, 3rd world crown that you get. How are you feeling?
기분이 어떠신지 축하드립니다. 우선 기분이 어떠신지 궁금합니다.
올해 지금 있는 이 자리가 되게 오랜 시간 걸린 자리거든요. 그 기다린 시간을 만큼이나 지금 기분은 뭐 되게 좋아요. 그냥 엄청 좋아요.
I'm really happy. It's really has been taken a long time for coming here right now. So I'm really happy and honored to be here.
That emotion that came out of you at the end, you feel like relief?
그 마지막에 막 멋있는 모습이 나오고 감정이 막 표출됐는데 지금 막 좀 마음이 차분해지고 그런지 궁금합니다.
일단은 경기가 끝났고 일단은 뭐 시상식을 해야 내려와야 되니까 약간 그런 기분인 것 같아요.
Now it's game over. I won gold medal. Now I'm a little bit feel cool down right now, but I'm going to attend the world ceremony right now.
Kim Woo-jin, you're probably one of the best archers we have ever known. Did you believe it like that?
여태까지 있던 아처 중에 최고의 아처 중에 한 명이신데 그거를 본인 스스로 어떻게 생각하고 어떻게 믿고 계신지 궁금합니다.
저는 아직 최고라 생각하지 않습니다. 제가 아직 은퇴를 하지 않았기 때문에 앞으로 더 많은 것들을 이루어내려고 노력하고 있기 때문에 제가 활을 놨을 때 그때서 뒤돌아보겠습니다.
Now I'm considering myself I'm not the best archer in the world because I'm not retired yet. So I'm looking forward to winning more and more. And when I retire, then I could be saying I'm the best archer in the world.
Woo-jin, just as you were coming out here, you still were like knocking your head, sorry. Like if you still don't believe what you have done, have you realized it yet?
지금 아직 현재 상황에 대해서 인지하고 있는지, 리얼라이즈 하고 있는지 궁금하다고 하시네요.
그렇게 제가 만들어가는 커리어를 많이 생각하지는 않아요. 그러니까 앞에 있는 시합에서 최선을 다해서 보다 나은 것들을 만들어내려고 계속 하고 있을 뿐이지 제가 지금까지 해왔던 것들에 대해서는 그렇게 많은 것들을 생각하고 있지는 않아요.
I'm not really thinking about the back forward, like my archery career for now, but I'm looking forward to future over it, and then I would like to focus on my performance and archery together for now. Yeah.
Thank you and congratulations, Kim.
Thank you.
축하드립니다.
네.
Consummate professional. Did say he's not done yet. He's just confirmed. He's said.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming up in just moments, the victory ceremony for Recurve men's individual division.
Finished it, retired, and so I'm not going to be thinking about that until I've retired, and then maybe, as humble as most Koreans are, so then maybe I'll consider myself the best Recurve men's archer. I mean, we can confirm he is the best Recurve men's archer. Brady Ellison's right up there with him for sure, but the consistency over the time that Kim Woo-jin is just phenomenal.
Yeah, to win 3 individual world titles like that, like you said, no one's done that before, and it's the hardest thing to go out there and win a specific world championships. Yeah, being world #1 is consistency on the World Cup circuit again and again, but you know, winning that world title really is something, and you know, congratulations to him. And you know, it means Korea have taken the clean sweep of every single gold medal at these championships.
You could say they're quite good at archery. They're okay. Yeah, a phenomenal performance by the whole Korean team, but Kim Woo-jin really is the standout man here, and he gets to stand on the top of the World Championship podium for the 3rd time here in Yankton. Been a brilliant tournament. I mean, the other superstar that's come out today, I know he's been around as a junior, but Marcus de Almeida, superb performance.
Yeah, the surprise package from today, and congratulations to him on his silver medal.
Time now for the last of the action here at the 2021 Hyundai World Archery Championships, and it's the medal ceremony for Recurve men's individual. And certainly one of the people out there is really struggling to put their emotions in check. Uğur Erdoğan, the World Archery president, the man in charge of the International Federation, will be presenting the medals. Bruce Cull proudly has put on this tournament. We'll give the gifts. Brady Ellison came here for the gold medal. I think we can excuse him looking a little disappointed having taken bronze, but he will remember this in years to come as another World Championship medal. He was certainly respectful to his opponents in defeat in the semi-final and in victory in the bronze medal playoff.
Silver medal representing Brazil.
The standout surprise package here in Yankton is this Brazilian man, talented as a junior, but disappeared from the business end of competitions until now. Marcus de Almeida from Brazil is the 2020 World Championship silver medalist.
Gold medal, world champion, representing Republic of Korea, Kim Woo-jin.
Well, he's been a history maker throughout his career, the first Korean man to take an Olympic individual title. He now becomes the first man ever to win 3 world titles. Stands alone in that achievement. Kim Woo-jin follows up 2011 world title, the 2015 world title, with the 2021 world title here in Yankton, South Dakota, USA. And he's not done yet. Time to celebrate with Kim Woo-jin with his national anthem. Well, it's been a fabulous few days here on the finals range here at the Hyundai World Archery Championships. Kim Woo-jin confirmed as our recurve men's gold medalist from Marcos de Almeida from Brazil, and the United States' very own Brady Ellison. And Brady Ellison congratulating Kim Woo-jin warmly. It means that there's a great deal of camaraderie and respect amongst these archers. They're the only ones that really know what they go through. It's been a brilliant tournament here, and here are the final rankings for the men's tournament. In the top 12, the Olympic champion Mete Gazoz losing out on the medals here, losing to Brady Ellison in the bronze medal playoff. Marcos de Almeida did a great job against Brady Ellison in the semi-finals to get through, but couldn't do enough against the history maker Kim Woo-jin, becoming the first man to win 3 world titles. Well, we take a look back over the quarterfinals here, Nikki. It's been a tremendous tournament with some massive names in there.
Absolutely. I think, as I say, the surprise package day, Marcos de Almeida to come through all the way to the silver medal was just surprised everyone, really.
Yeah, fabulous performance from him. The United States of America had all their eyes on Brady Ellison. He didn't get the results he wanted at the Tokyo Olympic Games, which finished just a few weeks ago, and it didn't really swing for him here, losing out in the semi-finals after winning a tricky quarterfinal. He struggled with the sun in his eyes, but here is the surprise package. Marcos de Almeida coming through. Samet Ak comfortably in the quarterfinals. The Turkish athlete really had nothing there, but Kim Woo-jin quietly plucked away, shooting in big scores, coming through quarters. Semis were a little bit tough, but he made it through. The Korean fans here were delighted to see him make the final. Marcos de Almeida sprung the biggest of all surprises, though, against Brady Ellison in the semi-final, and despite shooting an 8 in the final set, came through to win it. And a big shock for Ellison, but he fought back against Gazoz to take the bronze medal, and then Kim Woo-jin made history, becoming the first man to claim 3 world titles here in Yankton, South Dakota. Brilliant performance from him, and that's it from us from the 2021 Hyundai World Archery Championships.